Hi there, welcome to the channel and welcome back again if you're a return viewer. My name is Kerry and you're watching the Christchurch Review of Books. Well, today it's a really short, brief video just in lieu of a proper book haul. The reason is because I have been under quite a lot of time and financial pressures in the past month and I haven't really made much of a book haul. In fact, only one book came my way, one physical book that is. This one, How Life Works by Philip Ball, and this came into my hands as a result of a good friend of mine giving me a book voucher for my birthday, which was earlier in this month. And pretty much it looks like it's the only one that's going to arrive in my hands for quite some time. Like I said, things are a little stressed, a little under pressure here at Chez Kerry, but I do have a good update for you. I have resigned from the job which was giving me a lot of grief and was partially resulting in that financial pressures. Little complicated situation which I probably won't go into here, and I have found another job and I start that next job on the 5th of August, and it is a change of industry, change of role. I'm hoping it will do me good. I hope it's something I can stick at and more importantly actually continue to get paid on a regular basis for doing, which would be a change from what's happened lately. Now, anyway, this book, How Life Works, first heard of this book when I was looking at a web page. I think it was a review of the year's best popular science books, and this was near the top. So this is by Philip Ball. I hadn't really heard of him, or if I had, I hadn't really rang any bells in my head, and it turns out he's a very prolific author in the world of science, popular science and science communication. He's written a load of books, and this is apparently one of his best, How Life Works, and there's apparently been a lot of changes in biology and biophysics, or whatever you want to call it, the study of the minute processes of life. I mean, we all know about genetics and the DNA molecule and what have you, but a lot of the low down understanding how some of the stuff works in relation to building real life creatures has been revolutionised over the last decade or so, and a lot of that stuff has gone unnoticed by the general public or even slightly interested people like me. There's been a lot of changes, and Philip Ball's task with this book is basically to draw it all together and explain it so we can understand it. A lot of our assumptions have been changed, a lot of our understanding of some of these processes and how they lead to living beings has had to be updated, and a lot of our textbooks and common conceptions of these ideas need to be updated too. So that's his task. Everyone says it's a really good book. I've only read the introduction so far because I am still bogged down in a couple of other books that I've been trying to read for about 3 months now. Certain very popular author's book which I wanted to read and review as a favour to a work colleague maybe. I'm verging very close to making it a DNF, and I don't like to DNF. I haven't done it for a long time. I really want to see these books through and give them an honest judgment, but I just feel like I'm 30% through this book and it seems to be dragging forever. I'm not even up to the main advertised content basically. Maybe just put it on hold for now. I have also started reading another book, which is probably a stupid idea seeing I was bogged down in 2 already, but I started reading Blind Sight by Peter Watts. It's one that's been recommended up the wazoo by everybody on the internet, the forums and pages that I regularly view. Peter Watts's Blind Sight, supposedly a hard science fiction book, which everyone loves. I actually do own a copy of it in the omnibus edition called Firefall, which contains Blind Sight and its sequel Echopraxia. But like most of my books before I moved here, it's in storage and pretty much inaccessible to me on a day-to-day basis. So I didn't buy. I found there is a free download of Blind Sight available online because it was originally self-published that way before being picked up by a major publisher. So I have been reading Blind Sight, and I'm about 30% through, and even though it's an interesting story and there's some interesting ideas, I'm not seeing why it's so widely praised. Maybe big things happen later on in the book. We'll have to see. And the other book I'm also still sort of bogged in, but I've been making progress lately, is Dangerous Visions, the old science fiction anthology that everyone used to talk about, but I had never read. I also own a copy of that in physical book, and it's also in storage, so I bought a Kindle version of the new edition which came out recently. There's a big push on, like I said in the previous video, to get Harlan Ellison's works out into the public, and Ellison was the main editor and driving force on Dangerous Visions. He introduces every story. Maybe gets a little bit of a nuisance doing that in the book after a while, maybe. It's going to be a hard one to review because there's so many disparate stories by disparate authors. Some of them authors are ones that were well known in the late 60s when the anthology came out and have faded from view, and others who were nobody back in those days and now are quite prominent in the science fiction field. So it's going to be interesting to try and review, because I think I'm just going to have to pick some favourite stories out of there, because to go through every one, I think there's 33, 34 stories in there. It's just not going to be possible to do in a reasonably timed video. Anyway, so that's a mixture of news for you. Just thought I'd drop it in case anybody at all was expecting a regular book haul this month. Sorry, just, time, events, money have conspired against me, but I'm looking for a brighter future now. I have one more week of my current job to work, and I've got a couple of those days off during that week. It's going to be a bit tough leaving the team there, which I really love. Just unexpected, wonderful people there, and yeah, it's every day since I sent my resignation letter, and I've felt pretty sad about leaving those people. Most of them I've only communicated with via Microsoft Teams really, and for the last 6 months, but it's amazing how much personalities and humanity can come through these electronic avenues. Anyway, I'll leave it there before I get too sad. So thank you for viewing the video. Once again, apologies for it not being something greater. We'll see you next time. Hopefully I'll have another review sooner than later. Cheers.